Hello, this is presentation number 1. In this presentation, we're going to go over the history of Perl and give you the first example and the syntax of the language. Perl was created by Larry Wall in 1987. Actually, what Larry was doing was extending Unix operating system Awk. And at that time, he found out that he's not capable of merging files with each other inside the operating system. So he came up with an idea, which is to create a whole programming language, Perl. So he came up with Perl 1. And it was just to manipulate and to manage text files. So it's kind of manipulating text and to have a way to merge and add and write regular expressions. So that was the main purpose actually. Over time, Perl became so powerful that extended from 5 pages at the beginning to when the release of Perl 4 became 200 pages of code and of keywords. And at that time, the book that Larry wrote, named Camel Book, became so famous. And at that time, the sysadmins, they rejoiced by this kind of language that give them the possibility to manipulate a lot of functionality in word processors. The most famous version is number 5 in 1995, and we say this is a long time ago, but still today Perl is very popular. And it was said that actually the existence of Perl helped the emerge of the World Wide Web, because as we know, CGI, one of the most beginning languages over the web, use Perl, and still to date a lot of applications and form run with CGI and Perl. The latest release, the 6, started into an idea in 2001, but it was like a community-based forum that they will add more keywords and more functionality to Perl. So technically, that's why in this course we're going to learn Perl 5, and if you are you had the chance to work with Perl 6, you have to go into many different releases that came from different communities like Strawberry Perl, Active State Perl, and many more. So that's why I feel the most stable version is Perl 5, and then Perl 6 will not be more different. Whatever you write in Perl 5 will work on Perl 6. So it is really far from dead, because a lot of community need this language because of the manipulation and because it is a very fast language. Like if you heard about the story, one of the biggest companies, they turned a work in Perl that 5 engineers were working on Perl in 1 year into Java code. So it took them 45 Java programmers to rewrite the same code in 1 year. Then they ended up coming back to Perl, because Perl is very short syntax, it's very powerful and very fast. It continues development, and you can see more if you Google Span with Perl. It's a repository that can help you find modules and some executed programs. Very good place to go. So it's far from dead. A lot of jobs today ask for experts in Perl. I have to talk about 2 concepts of Perl. The most important aspect in Perl is what is known as scripting language. That means very short lines of programming, maybe at maximum 100 lines. However, also Perl could be a programming language with 2,000 lines. That doesn't mean that we cannot write a whole complete operating system or a complete development website with Perl. However, is known more as a scripting language, and this is what we're going to see in this course. What else? I have to say also that Perl extended a lot over the last years. For example, Larry was able to add object-oriented programming and the functionality of the new languages in Perl. And when he decided to rewrite Perl 5, actually, the whole idea was because a lot of other programming languages started to appear, like Python, function programming. So he wanted to have the same functionalities that other languages have, and to keep the basic of the language that is very powerful and very short. So whatever we're going to learn here is going to work in any version, even the 6 or up in future, so you don't have to worry about it. I created 2 videos for you, one for installing Perl on Windows and one for Mac. So in Windows there is a specific website, Active State, which is, as I said, it continue add more on top of Perl that we see today. So the standalone version release that Perl add to the community is the one that under Unix, but other operating systems can use it as well. Now, a lot of people ask about the framework of Perl, either a framework for Perl, like for example, for Ruby we have Rails. Actually, there is a lot, like about 30 frameworks. That's why none of them is very popular. Maybe the most one that you can hear related to Perl is Crystals. But actually, the way that people are using it is either from the command line or from Eclipse, as I showed in the video tutorial. As I mentioned, the SPAN is very powerful repository that has a lot of code, reusable code of module that you can go ahead and try to see if it's useful for you and can find what you need in that place. For the programming purposes, some people use Perl to create packages and to create objects. We're not going to see this, but also is very known for Perl for that purpose. The main motto that Larry kept in designing Perl to make it very simple and to serve the purpose, which is manipulating text and creating regular expressions to be able to handle very quick any kind of operations on files easily. What else about Perl? I should say here, there is many ways to say the same things in other languages, for example, and you can see in Perl it has the same concept, and it's known more about the shortcut concept that, for example, yes, we can say cannot instead of can, but people, when they know there is a shortcut to use some stuff, that's why you will use it, and it will be awkward if you are using it cannot. So the same concept, a lot of things you learn at the beginning, then you will find a shortcut for them and you get stuck with a shortcut because this is the easiest way to learn it. And I'm gonna follow somehow the book that you have, Learning Perl. I would like to mention there is a footnote at the end of each page. The author of the book, what he did in that book, he wanted to have new ideas in the footnote. So the purpose was first the reader will read this book without reading the footnote. Then when he read it again, we'll look at the footnote in which he will have extension to one of the concepts that he mentioned in the chapter. So technically, if you're saying it like this is the only way that I can code, and then in the footnote we say no, of course there's some other ways. The shortcut is the following. So somehow a smart way to add extension to the language. Also a very powerful concept, there is no reserved words in Perl, because when Larry created Perl, as I said, it was some kind of help for him, for our operating system in Unix, to manipulate files. So he didn't want to have those words actually duplicated in other place. So always he added a sign before the variable. So either we'll see the $, the percentage, the @ sign. So always the data or the scalar has this sign in front of it, so there is no way any keyword, even if it added new to the language, will be affected by those variables. That's why you can run any code that you wrote maybe in Perl 1 on Perl 5, because the variables will not be the same at all. And this is what distinguishes this language. This is prefix that is built in the language and distinguish the type of the scalar or the data in it. Of course, if you would like to get help, there are a lot of communities that you can find over the web. The most popular is Perl.com and Perl.org. Also, you can sign to the emailing list.perl.org. Very useful. You have the information over there to subscribe and to put yourself in the loop to get the latest information about Perl. Also, very popular Perl Monks website. Just Google it and you will find it. It's very, very famous for giving answers to questions. Usually, the toughest question you ask over there will take about half an hour, and sometimes instantly. Actually, you will have someone because there is some kind of voting on this website who is the top 5. So there are points. So people, compete on this website. So that's why you will find a lot of people are answering very quickly. Another website, the Stack Overflow, even it's popular not only for Perl, it's general purpose, so you can find answers to most of your questions. Also, IRC channels is very popular. Also, you have groups you can subscribe to, and they meet with each other periodically in some locations in US. The conference, the OSCON, actually, Larry will attend this one and present periodically the latest development on Perl. The last and not least, CPAN, as I said, is a place that you can find a lot of source code that can help you to develop good scripting code. Let us start with the syntax of the program Perl. It's only a plain text file. You don't need any editor to write Perl. However, I prefer Eclipse because it's a very nice IDE environment that helps us in running the code. I have to mention that the white spaces are not significant at all in Perl, so you can add tabs, spaces, any place you want. You can write a single word code in every line and it works. It doesn't matter, but of course this will make it difficult for the person who's gonna read your code. Delimiter is the semicolon. This is how the statements finish. So you can add a semicolon on the line. You can add more than one statement, split them by a semicolon. If you want to comment, you end the line by £. The execution of Perl, this is a complete code actually on Perl, using Perl, since it is a Unix base, so it has to start with the #bang /user/bin/Perl. This is coming from the Unix and works the same in Windows and in Mac. And as you can see, most of the programmers, they will write it the first time, they copy it and paste it. So this is a very important line, should be included in every program that you write. It gives you the absolute path where Perl is available in your machine. Now the first statement that we have here in Perl, just to print hello world \n, and we put double quotations. What's gonna do is it's gonna print the word hello world and change the turn and a new line. So this is the purpose of the /n that will feed a new line at the end of the line. Otherwise, Perl will print hello world and the prompt will stay at the same line. So if you want to print something else, you need to return it to the new line. Now what I should mention, the #bing is very, very popular for every Unix programming languages, also known as a Shebang line. Now, if you are using Mac, sometimes you have to make the file that you wrote executable by using chmod. A plus X, is that mean executable, and then to write the name of the file, let's say hello.pl. So you make it executable one time and you make it run. One comment I have to mention here, very important, that Perl will run and will launch up and will go through the actual code and will compile the entire code. So there is a phase in Perl as it starts up that reads the entire source, the text from the beginning to the end, and it turns it into internal bytecode that is very efficient to run. So when people say that Perl is not a compiled language, they must be thinking about something different than what I am. Perl actually is compiling it down into internal code, even though I will call it just-in-time compilation, because it's going to throw it away when it's done. But then it runs this bytecode and will run the print operation here in our case and will print hello world. So this is very important comment. If I ask you if there a compiler in Perl, yes, Perl compile the text completely and it creates a binary code, and then the binary code will generate the output for the file. That's it for presentation 1.